This is Phoebe Green and the Locker of Destiny, written and read by me, James Dubern. We are on chapter 34, it's called Raw Cauliflower. For the first hour, Phoebe listened to her name being called. One grown-up made it all the way into Mr. Grayson's yard and even poked their head into the greenhouse. Phoebe was quiet as a mouse, sitting beneath a table with her arms hugging her knees. Eventually, the footsteps retreated. As the search party moved from the lawn to the field opposite the school, her name became difficult to make out. Some said Katie and others said Phoebe. Nobody was sure who this mysterious girl even was, despite having known her for months. After a couple of hours, the sky grew dark. Through the glass of her greenhouse roof, she saw the occasional flash of a torchlight on a tree. Eventually, even those died away. It seemed that the search party had finally given up. The greenhouse didn't feel so warm anymore. Phoebe, whose eyes had adjusted as best they could to the darkness, fumbled around for food. She found a lettuce growing in a plastic tray and picked it. A baby no bigger than a tennis ball. She wiped the soil onto her skirt and bit into it like an apple. It gave a nasty crunch as she discovered more dirt beneath its outer layers. Still, she finished it, crunchy white core and all. Raindrops tapped on the roof of the greenhouse. Phoebe stood and peered up at the sky, her nose almost touching the glass. She challenged herself not to flinch as the great drops splattered in front of her eyes. Soon the rain was coming down by the bucket load. It formed frantic rivers on the outside of the greenhouse, merging and splitting as the torrents of water poured into the metal gutters. Those eventually overflowed, and little waterfalls of ice-cold water tumbled against the glass walls. She looked at the glimmering lights of Perivale, which wobbled in the water drops. It didn't help that she was crying, too. The building's windows flickered like flames. Phoebe touched the glass with her fingertips, trying to feel for a warmth that never came. She was angry with Perivale on the way she'd been expelled for something she didn't even do. Here in her greenhouse, at least there were no rules. She picked a cauliflower and peeled off the green leaves. With glorious free will, she bit into the white florets. They crunched between her teeth. For all the water running down the walls of her house, she wished she had a drink. If she were honest, she wished she were back in Perivale. A splash of light hit the trays of plants. Phoebe ducked, but it was too late. The greenhouse door slid open. "There you are," came Mr. Grayson's voice. He wore a long green coat with a hood that all but covered his face. Raindrops poured from the peak onto his cheeks, but he was smiling. So genuinely happy to have found Phoebe. She smiled too, so happy to have been found. He stood in the doorway of the greenhouse. "Come on then, let's get you inside." Phoebe tucked her book of difficult questions into the carrier bag, along with 3 sets of underwear, the diary and a hairbrush. "Shall I bring this?" she asked. Mr. Grayson shone his torch at the cauliflower in her hand. He peered a little closer to make out the bite mark in it. "Yes," he said. "That's a good collie, that is. If I cook it up, it'll be a whole lot better, too." Mr. Grayson jogged across the yard, dodging puddles. Phoebe followed. He opened the door to a little cottage with hanging baskets and a thatched roof. Phoebe stepped inside after him. She undid her laces and put her saturated school shoes next to his tall Wellington boots. Her tights left faint footprints on the stone tiles as she followed him into the lounge. "You sit there and warm up by the fire," he said. "I've got to call Perivale and let 'em know you're safe." Phoebe nodded. This time she wouldn't run. Sometimes you have to face the music, as Mummy would say.